Do Google Ads actually work for small businesses?
Yeah, Google Ads will work for any business if they're done right. Okay. It's never about the ad itself, it's about the person creating the ad and the user of the system. Okay. So Google Ads is pretty complex. There's a lot of ways to bid, a lot of pricing models, a lot of different ways to write your ads, different ways to go after keywords, whether they be broad match, phrase match, or exact match, and variations of that. And if you just set it up wrong, you're going to just throw a lot of money down the drain. I mean, a lot happens all the time. Even experienced companies we see throwing money down the drain. However, if you set it up right, if you limit your exposure from the standpoint of what words or phrases you're targeting and going after, and not try to go after everything, just go after a few solid keywords and drop people on a good page, you could definitely get some traffic. I know my son, we have a new business for him. He's a certified personal trainer. He's been doing it for about 6 months. He's got about 8 or 9 clients. We made some changes to his local listings, his local ads, and he's getting some traffic from that. So everything's got to be weighed out, of course. If you're spending $1,000 on ads and you've got a couple sales, but your sales are each $400 a pop, you're losing money. So that's no good. But if you're spending $1,000, and every time you make a sale, you make $500, and every $1,000 you sell, you spend, you make 3 sales. Well, you got a $500 profit. The nice thing about paid ads is that it's a much easier and more measurable tracking, right? You know how much you're spending, you know how much your ads cost, you know how much, when people come to you because of that ad, you can track it much more easily. You can see if your return on your investment, or what something you hear also, return on ad spend, like what you spend on your ad, what you get in return, is much more valuable. So yes, I mean, let's put it this way. If it wasn't working, well, Google wouldn't be making billions of dollars a day on it. The reason people are on it, the reason people spend money on it is because it works. But it works when done right. And when done wrong, you lose money and you think it doesn't work, or you think Google's a scam, or you think Google's kind of trying to pull one over on you, but it's not. Usually it's user error. That's the problem, because there is so much to know. So so first off, as if you're a first-time business owner or a new business owner or starting up a new small business and you've never used Google Ads before, do not try to use Google Ads on your own without any kind of training. Get some training. Google's got training on how to use it. And even then, it's so nuanced, spend a few bucks, hire somebody to do it, whether it be me or somebody else that you do research for it. Get somebody reputable that knows the system, knows the drawbacks, the pitfalls, knows the ways to take advantage of things, knows how to use the right keywords, knows what are called negative keywords. That's a big deal. A lot of people don't have any idea what a negative keyword is. And a negative keyword is a word that you don't want to show up for. So let's say you're a lawyer, right? You do criminal law, and you do personal injury law, but let's say you don't do family law. So you don't want to deal with, divorces, you don't want to deal with child custody, that kind of stuff, right? Well, if somebody says something like, family lawyer near me, I don't want my ad to show. I don't want to waste the impression that comes up. I don't want someone accidentally clicking on it and costing me money, because I don't do that. So that's it. You have to have negative keywords. For my air conditioning guys, we kind of saw it a minute ago when I did AC, repair near me, and like a car auto repair shop came up as opposed to an AC repair company, right? Why did that happen? Well, because autos have ACs in them and they break, so they need to be repaired. And so when you're doing paid ads for an AC repair company, we would see things like Ford AC repair, BMW AC repair, RV AC repair, right? And we had to put negative keywords in. It says, hey, someone puts in the word car, someone puts the word auto, somebody puts the word Ford or BMW or whatever. Don't show my ad, because I don't want to be shown for things I don't offer. But not knowing that, you're going to show. People are going to click on it. And I can't tell you how many times it happens. I'll give you a funny story. It's one of my favorites. That's a bunch of years ago, my goodness. And I got brought in by another guy, friend of mine, who was consulting for this company, and I forget the name of the company, all right, but they had a product that they were selling, and the initials of this product were MLP, right? M like Mary, L like Larry, P like Peter, okay, MLP. And so they didn't know what they were doing with paid. They were throwing about, I think it was about $5,000 a month at paid ads to try to get people to buy this business, enterprise level kind of product. And they were going with, again, MLP was one of those words they were going after. Well, nobody knew what they were doing. Nobody knew anything about keywords. And apparently, MLP, you have a daughter, maybe you know this, but MLP are also the initials of My Little Pony. And not only were they spending hundreds of dollars on My Little Pony, but I got an education as to the fact that there are a whole bunch of these like fringe groups that like adults that like to dress up in My Little Pony stuff and get together. Let's just say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they were spending of the $5,000 a month that they were spending in pay-per-click, about $3,000 was going into My Little Pony, like, this stuff, this other weird stuff and whatnot. And we were like, oh my God, nobody is looking at this at all. And so here's an example of where it wasn't working. They didn't know why it wasn't working. They're spending all this money. The problem was nobody was putting in negative keywords. Nobody was keeping up to date on what was going on. It was bad. And on top of that, if you're paying for ads, you want to send people not to your homepage. You want to send them to a landing page specifically designed to give them something in return for something. And the thing you want in return is their name and or email and phone number. At least two of those things, name and either email or phone number or all of the above, in exchange for something, a discount, a coupon, a freebie, some offer of something, rather than putting them onto your homepage where they can come in, look around, and leave, right? The goal is you don't want them to come in, look around, and leave. You want them to come to your page, give you their information so that you can reach out to them, follow up with them, right? And in exchange for something, right? Because for them to give you that information, they need to get something of value. Maybe it's first time deal, they get $100 off, they spend $500 or more. If they're, I always remember doing like a carpet cleaning company, it's like buy 3 rooms, get the 4th one for free, that kind of thing, right? And the idea would be drop them on a page where you can track, get their information in exchange for something. Now you have valuable lead information, right? But if you just drop them on your homepage and they look around and go, nah, or they hit the page and they go, nah, and your page is kind of crappy or it's slow and they leave, well, you just throw money down the drain. So it will work. It does work. It's worked for 20 years. Otherwise, Google wouldn't be where they are. But if you don't do it right and don't monitor it right and don't know how to use the system properly, you will lose your shirt and you're going to feel like you've just been ripped off. So be careful.
I will add when I was running several Google ad campaigns, learning about the negative keywords, especially if you're starting out as a small business and you've got a fresh account, at a minimum, at least once a month, look at your reports and see, what did you pay? Okay, someone clicked on this. That's not me. I don't want that. You immediately take that, put it into a negative keyword pile.
Yeah.
And the negative keywords can build into thousands over time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to really be on it. It's especially at first, I'd say every 2 weeks, look at your reports, figure out what you don't want. And then over time, it starts getting better, but you have to really take care of that right in the beginning.
You really do. I mean, another good example that kind of goes to that point is, I have a roofing client. And again, go back to my AC client too. There's a million roofers, there's a million AC people in the area, right? And so if you type in like AC repair, as an exact match, AC repair, or phrase match, AC repair, someone says Joe's AC repair, Pete's AC repair, Tom's AC repair, ABC AC repair, right? Well, AC repair is part of the phrase, but Joe's and Tom's and Dick's and Harry's and whatever AC repair is not. And you can wind up paying for someone who's looking for your competitor, and when they see you, they leave because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the company name. So that also becomes something where keeping a track on who the competitor, and something else to keep in mind too when it comes to paid ads is you have a list of keywords that you tell Google, hey, these are the words that I want you to kind of trigger my ads for. However, on the other side of it is what's called a search terms report. This is the report that tells you what people typed into Google that triggered your ad. Okay, you're never going to see Pete's AC Company and Joe's AC Company and John's AC Company in the reports where you say, fire off these words when anybody types in AC Company. You've got to look at the search term report to see, well, what did Google show my ad for? What was the words and phrase used by someone at the search engine typing in to find what did I spend money on? And you're not going to get that from the place you put the keywords. You got to find those search terms in order to do that. And that's where you find the negatives. That's where you really go ahead and say, hey, I don't want to get found for this. Don't want to get found for that. So super important.
But then you can make like a little side campaign and actually, lower how much you're willing to pay per clicks, but use some exact matches on some of your competitors' company names. So when somebody searches for Joe's HVAC, your ad pops up and, a user might be like, well, maybe the last time I used Joe, he wasn't the best. And who's this guy? Let me check this one out.
So that's a great strategy. Couple things about it. So first off, you have to set up a separate campaign for that as opposed to groups, because campaigns are financed have a budget, right? Each campaign has a budget. And so you don't want to spend a big amount of your budget on your competitor names. So a small piece may be good. And then I had a client that we did this for a couple of times, and his basic response when someone's looking for one of his competitors, his ad would say, "We'll beat anybody's price," right? That was his thing. So he was trying, or something. He also did something like free, no obligation second estimates, like like a second estimate for it's a pool install or pay. This guy was doing pavers. So like, free second opinion estimate, something like that, right? So he knew people were looking for the competitors, and he was trying to find a way to say, hey, give me a shot at giving you a better deal. Give me a shot at, at giving you a better option or second option. But definitely something kind of keep it on the down low, small as well. Also, I don't know how long it's been since you worked with Google and their exact match versus phrase match and whatnot, but exact match is no longer exact match even. Now exact match is also close variance. So as long as intent is the same, Google will typically show an ad, even though it's not exactly what was entered in by the user. If it was close enough or pretty close, they'll show it.
Oh no, am I showing my gray hairs? Am I a little out of the loop on how ad campaigns are going now?
It's crazy how much has changed. Really crazy, honestly. And everything's all automated. You can't really create your own ads anymore. You create headlines and descriptions, and Google cycles through them to find the best ones, the best combinations of those things that will work for you. So again, it's changed a lot in what's considered exact, what's considered phrase. It's changed a lot in what are variants and how swapping words around could be different, so it is its own animal. And like I said, if you have not done this before, you should really not go at this on your own without any kind of guidance. Do not just say, hey, I'll throw $100 at it and see I'll throw $1,000 at it and see what happens. You throw $1,000 at it, don't know what you're doing, you're gonna go lose $1,000. I mean,
and you're gonna get a bunch of My Little Pony people.
Yeah, dude, it was I tell you what, that sold. Just that one report sold them on me for some consulting work that I did, because I saved them $3,000 a month just by saying, look, you guys are screwing up over here. You need to do this differently. And that, I made money on them just because I found something that somebody sort of quickly and easily found, and they didn't.